Hello, people. I'm happy again. Look what I'm wearing. Okay, for those who doesn't know, let me start the video with this story. This is a movie. The Warriors. I know you might know the Warriors from TV, from sports, but no, this shirt is about the movie. Okay, let me grab water because this is gonna be interesting. Is this good? Yeah, it's good. The Warriors is a movie that was also a game. You know, when I was a kid, uh, like I said, when I was a kid, I was very into video games to the point that I would cry because my mom or my uncle wouldn't let me play video games. And it's normal because you're a kid. When you're a kid, all you want is to play, either like a physical type of playing or like video games. I think as a kid you have to do both because you cannot overdo either one because like I say, if you play too much video games as a kid, if you spend too much screen time, that's what I'm trying to say. It's not good for your mind. It's not good for your eyes. Like literally, like I would get like very bad headaches. But putting that aside, so GTA was one of my favorite games. I know it's violent, but the world is violent. Might as well have to control violence. You know what I mean? And you discover violence through a video game. And I think it's like kind of like a paradox because they tell you not to play violent video games as a kid because you might develop bad traits when you're an adult. And I think it might be true, but at the same time, if you were raised within like a very loving, caring family, the positive traits will like take over the negative. Do 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 you know what I'm saying? Like depending how you were raised, how your mother treated you, depending how you saw your mother treat you, that's the behavior that you're gonna project. If your parents were bad parents, then you playing violent video games is just gonna add to the recipe of disaster. It's like if you play violent games, but you were raised correctly. That's what I'm trying to say. If you were taught good morals, values, respect, then just playing violent video games to you is just gonna be like a way of like knowing the shadow of life. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense because it's just fantasy. It's just a projection. It's just a video game. It's not reality. So going back to the shirt, I think the game was pretty much like GTA, but a little more complicated. I remember when I first played it, I didn't know how to like go to the next mission. I don't know, but the game was awesome, and then I discovered it was actually a movie. Because I think I played this game in, I don't know if it was Xbox or PS2, I don't remember. But the movie's pretty good. It has like a good like type of like street life, like cliques, if you will, where they compete against each other, I guess. My favorite scene, I gotta say, is where they chase the Warriors. I think that's what their clique is called. The baseball guys with the bats, they start chasing, and then a really cool melody comes along. That I think that's badass. I have saved that on my YouTube music playlist because it's a good fucking dun 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 dun, dun. And then the guitar comes along. It's a I think it's a dope ass movie. Okay, now getting into the real topic of the video. I know that was like 4 minutes. No, this is gonna be good. I laid all of these thoughts, man. Like it takes time, trust me, to get all of this in one page. Like this, my friend, this takes hours. of watching like content. You are very lucky by watching this video. Okay, it's gonna be heated, but we gotta be adults and we gotta respect each other. Okay, the first thing we're gonna talk about is andro. I gotta go fast because there's a lot of stuff. I don't want to make the video too long. So androgyny, what androgyny is pretty much the male and the female, the masculine and the feminine. They have to be blending together. That's androgyny. That's a good word. That's a new word for me. You have to fight against ego inflation, which means ego inflation, it's the thing that keeps you away from the shadow. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much the matrix in a sense, like the ego is like the matrix, the demiurge. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Demiurge, yeah, that is. The demiurge is the thing that keeps you away from the underworld, from the tree of knowledge, from the divine spark, from the demons, from the dark side of life. That's the demiurge, the matrix, the ego. See what I'm saying? They're all related. Because they want you to take the blue pill. That's pretty much it. The blue pill, what the blue pill is, pretty much it turns you into a sleepwalker. That's a song, by the way. That's a really good song, and I think the movie I haven't watched, but Sleepwalking, I think it's like ding 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 ding. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about things, and then I go onto like other things that don't have nothing to do with it. You have to be funny. So, yeah, that's the blue pill. That's pretty much the blue pill wants you to be a sheep from the herd, from the flock. That's what the blue pill is, in simple words. They don't want you to. They don't want you to go to untamed waters. They don't want you to face your fears. They don't want you to like literally like see your fears head on. They don't want you that because they want you to keep you blinded. Uh, these people will wear masks, like Carl Jung said. Like we all wear masks in society. In the Matrix, we all wear masks. So once you see through the masks, that's when the real power comes into play because you actually see through the facade. All these society norms are just a facade, honestly. Of course, you have to follow the basic ones, like the common sense ones. But there's ones that you actually see, well, there's something wrong in this. Like this doesn't add up. Like your logic, like your logic is not logicking. You know what I mean? Something like that. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones because we're gonna talk about something that scares people, and that's what the Matrix wants you to be scared of the knowledge. See what I'm saying? Tree of knowledge, Adam and Eve, the apple. They want you to be scared. They will tell you it's bad, but what you're actually doing is just like exploring your divine spark. Lucifer. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right? Lucifer means divine spark. And you have to control it. Because the same way you can control Lucifer for a good cause, the same way that energy can control you to do real evil. Which is what the Matrix is doing. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's gonna talk about the quote unquote labels that they put. The labels they will put so you don't get past the gate, so you don't get to your shadow. There's gonna be labels: Satanism, rebels, black sheep. Like they will tell you literally that you're the devil when you just wanna like acquire knowledge. They would tell you that being ugly is bad, like being cringy is bad. All the negative stuff, cringiness, goofiness, creepiness, dorkiness, all these negative traits, they would tell you, no, do not be that. And what happens when you ignore this shadow? Those traits are there, my friend, and trust me, the when you least expect it, those traits will haunt you. Those are your demons. Everything you don't like about yourself, those are your demons. If people tell you, "Oh, you're a door, you're this, you're that," all these negative things, you know what you can do? You know what? Yeah, I am, but in a good way, because, like I said, words have two connotations. There's always the good and the bad of things. So if somebody calls you like a bad word, like a stupid, and you're like, yeah, maybe I am stupid, but the good kind. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, bro? Like, be real. Like, make fun of yourself too. Like, people are gonna insult you either way, so might as well just have fun with it. So that's what the matrix wants you to do. Not, they don't want you to embrace the negatives. They don't want you. They want you to only embrace the positives because they know by doing that, then you're gonna create real evil when your shadow explodes because you don't recognize it. See what I'm saying? See, that's why they depict all these perfect house, wife, uh, luxurious car, like brand new year car. What else? Expensive, like materialistic things. They want you to indulge only on the positives, because they know you're gonna destroy yourself by doing that. Fortunately, that's the truth, my friend. What happens when they take the red pill? You become an eon. You become a rebel, a rock star, if you will. You become you become Frodo wearing the ring, which is very paradoxical because he's trying to destroy the ring. See what I'm saying? So the people telling Frodo to destroy the ring is the Demiurge. That's the way I see it, bro. It makes sense to me. Behind, you know, you have to become devil and God at the same time because you know what? The real God is both. It's the spectrum of positive and negative, light and darkness. That's what God is. And when you blend them together to create something good, that's the real God, my friend. You have to do alchemy. Turn a negative experience into like your greatest accomplish. That's why you have seen that most of people that succeed in life, they have gotten that success from their biggest failure, which means that in order to succeed, you have to fail. You had to be rejected. You had to be literally being spit in the face. I know it sounds dirty, but like, yeah, you have to do. Break the chain. There's another song, Break the Chain, which means get off those chains that have put you in captivity. Be unfiltered. As a man, you have to be unfiltered. You have to be ugly. Because if you try to be pretty, then you're a girl. Girls are the ones that are supposed to be pretty. What happens when a girl wants a pretty man? Then she's looking for another woman. A man, like I said in my previous videos, a man has to show characters of like grotesqueness. That's how you say it. That's a song, by the way, Grotesque by Cannibal Corpse. Um, yeah, just the negative traits that the female tries to avoid is the male. You know, that's duality. And of course, like when once you embrace those things as a man, sometimes you're gonna look cute in a small dose. You know what I mean? So let's talk about death metal. I know this is getting long. Death metal. Why they put now I understand, dude, because let's be honest, we all get scared of death metal. Even I. some of the titles are just like, I'm like, dude, like really? Because I do believe in God. Like I said, there's a good entity, but there's also a bad entity. So that's God, the one that the wholeness, the divine light. That is God, which means God is the devil too. Like they're both on the same spectrum. So what happens is there's two types of gods and two types of devil. See what I'm saying? Two connotations for everything. There's the fake God and there's the true God. There's the fake evil. I mean the real evil and the good evil. See what I'm saying? So death metal, the lyrics are very like anti-Christ, right? Anti-God. But if you think twice about it, they're not criticizing, they're not committing blasphemy against the true God. Does it make sense? When you see all these titles, okay, I must say some titles that are very like anti like Christ, anti God. What they're actually saying is, yeah, we're doing that, but towards the fake one, not the real one. You know what I mean? So a song called "Enemy of God" is pretty like hardcore because if you think that that's actually like criticizing the real God, you're wrong. To me, it means the fake God, enemy of the fake God. But they will hide it because music is very tricky. They will hide the message. You have to explore the real meaning for yourself. So when you hear "enemy of God," is enemy of the fake God. What another song title? There's very like dark songs, bro. Like you literally see you even see Jesus, bro. So they're not criticizing the real Jesus. They're criticizing the Jesus that the Catholic Church used the name of Jesus to do bad things. That's the Jesus that if you see Jesus like in a mocking way on death metal, trust me, they're mocking the fake Jesus, not the real one. That's the way I see it, and now I can enjoy my music better because I know that I'm not going against the real God, the good one. Cannibal Corpse has, of course, some of the most grotesque lyrics that can possibly be in the world. But you know what they're doing? They're mocking. They're mocking what the Matrix has created, dude. That's pretty much Cannibal Corpse. They will. They will sing about the real evil that you have created. I think it's a good way to show a story through music. Like I said, in summary, every time you see somebody said that death metal is worship the devil, no, death metal goes against. Of course, there might be some of death metal that actually wants to. The purpose is to create more evil. No, but like in general, dude, all the death metal bands from like the U.S. What they're doing technically is just showing people the reality, the truth. They're not going against the real God. Trust me, they're going against the fake one. So every time somebody tells you that heavy metal and death metal is music for the devil, to worship the devil, is not true. It's music to open your eyes. Eyes to see, ears to hear. Morbid Angel. Of course, the Matrix, the Demiurge will create a type of like cat and mouse game, where they will tell you not to do not do this. They will tell you that, but they know if you do it, and they will give you the tools to do the things that they will tell you not to do. Trust me, because they know if you, when somebody tells you not to do something, that you're gonna do it. The system knows this. Every rule that you see, they know people are gonna break them, and what they do with it is they profit money, courthouses, trials, judges. What they're doing is making money. So by telling you not to do something and actually giving you the tools to do something, to do that thing, then they're actually making money. That's how it works. It's like a cat and mouse game. Okay, I think this is pretty much it, dude. Like I said, in general, I want to end the video with a story. Oh, of course, the archetypes. Remember, you have an archetype, and sometimes what happens with attraction is like you're attracted to the opposite archetype of you. Like, in other words, you're trying to fix that archetype, and it's pretty like either fix it or like get the traits that you don't have. See what I'm saying? Because what happens when you meet a person with your same archetype, there's not that void, there's not that fixing. Yeah, you can be with that person, like you can be romantically or sexually with that person, but like there's nothing to fix. There's nothing to like absorb. You feel what I'm saying? That's why opposites attract, because either you want to fix something that is broken with that person, or you want to absorb something. It can be two. Choose an archetype, and usually the archetypes are the way you were raised as a kid. Like your mom and your dad gave you their archetype. You are what your mother and father were. Pretty true. In other words, you have your biological like mother and father, but you also have your heavenly mother and father, like the universe and Mother Nature. You are Mother Nature. That's pretty much it, man. This was a good one. Remember, the source is the light. The source is you. You are God. For God is your father. You are the son. Like father, like son. Okay, I'm gonna end the video with a story I wanted to tell you. Like, I'm glad that I grew up and my mom is a very caring person. And that's why I have that from her. Like, yeah, she can be like very worried sometimes. Like she tells me, very fearful, because that's the feminine. Sometimes they're afraid of things, like because they love you, they don't want you to like, fail in life, and you have to recognize that. But at the same time, as a man, you have to show, that you have no fear. You live in life and you're not scared of anything, and that's why I have that mother, like the feminine in myself. That yeah, I want to like create life. Because a mother, dude, like a mother will like move mountains, bro, for the kids, bro. Like a mother will literally starve in order for the kids to have something to eat. And when you're a kid and you see that caring, that feeling of a mother, bro, trust me, when you grow up, you are that. You have that compassion, that sympathy, that empathy, that you actually know what struggle is. Because okay, I'm gonna tell you a story, very like heartwarming story. Well, when I was a kid, I think I was like 6 or 7. I don't remember, but of course I grew up poor. Like we didn't have that much food. Like literally, in El Salvador, we struggled a lot with food. And I remember one time we were at the mall, and I think we were about to eat pizza. I remember, but trust me, this is in El Salvador, dude. In El Salvador, dude. Like we're talking about like many years ago, where people were really poor. So it happens that I remember we were about to eat pizza. I remember, but I don't remember if it was me and my brother who uh ran over someone's pizza. Literally, the pizza fell on the ground. And trust me, dude, I was one of the most like as a kid, like one of the most melancholic, like heart touching feeling that you can possibly experience, because you see a mother not only having very little to support their kids, but now having to pay something that the kids did by accident. And that dude, that has no That has no comparison, bro. Once you experience that knowledge of what struggle really is, trust me, like you have compassion in your heart and you wish the best for everybody. You wish kids to have food on the table because you know what struggle really is. I think that's pretty much the story. I think my mom ended up paying the pizza that we like threw on the ground. But like I said, believe in God, believe in everything. Always question authority. Be a rebel in a good way. I love you, everyone. May God be with you. And so be the devil. God bless you.